Well, hello. Let's start by asking you your name. So, what is your name?
My name is Antoinette Maria Jackson, and everyone knows me as Toni.
What degree did you receive from TSU, and what led you to pursue that degree?
I am an attorney, and so I attended Thurgood Marshall School of Law, class of 1991. As far as what led me to pursue it, I knew when I was 12 years old I wanted to be a lawyer, and so I was able to come to TSU to pursue that degree. And I actually pursued that degree after taking a few years out from college. I took 4 years out between undergrad and law school.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you already disclosed what year you graduated in. So, how is that atmosphere different from the atmosphere now at TSU from 1991 to 2015?
Wow. I think one, technology plays a big part in the difference, and it connects the students, the alum, just the outside world. So I was able to learn about TSU through basically word of mouth because of alum in the Washington, D.C. area actually introduced me to Texas Southern University and Thurgood Marshall School of Law. So that's how I found out about TSU. But now, students go online, they look, they learn more about the university because of all the social media. You can have some idea about what the campus life is going to be like, what the overall atmosphere is going to be like. All I had was the word of some people who had a great experience at TSU to believe in the school, and I came sight unseen. I had never even stepped on campus and had not actually even read a whole lot about it. But like I said, because of the enthusiastic support and rave reviews that I got from other alum, that is what brought me to TSU.
Wow. So, what was your personal experience like at being Texas Southern at Texas Southern?
I had a good experience. Like all students, there were times when I was frustrated. I was a student that had to work my way through law school, so I had my own, frustrations and even sometimes doubts because I did have to work and attend law school. But overall, I had a really good experience. I went to a majority school undergrad, University of Virginia, which I had a great experience there, made lifelong friends there, but I had very few faces that looked like me in front of me teaching me. And so, once I had taken a few years out of college before going to law school, I had started really narrowing it down that I really wanted to go to an HBCU and have the HBCU experience. We don't have a lot of law schools, in the HBCU arena. At one time, there were 29 HBCU law schools, and all of them have closed up until 4 when I went to law school. And since I graduated from law school, we now have 5 because Florida A&M has come back online. But my choices was Texas Southern University, Howard University, Southern University, and North Carolina Central. And I wanted to get out of D.C. I didn't want to stay there and party my way out of school. And then, like I said earlier, the alum of TSU and Thurgood Marshall School of Law really encouraged me to come here and had me very excited about coming here and having, faces that look like me to encourage me, to support me, to push me hard but not push me to the point of breaking me is what has, in my mind, allowed me to be the successful attorney that I am today.
So, were there any particular mentors that you had on your way here in your experience?
I had some mentors again in that circle of Thurgood alum back in D.C. And because of our networking, they had already put me in touch with a few people before I got here. The person who made the phone call to me to let me know of my acceptance was Dean McKen Carrington, who pushed me hard. My dean, who at that time was the dean of the law school, James Douglas, pushed me hard and has been a mentor and now a close friend of mine and someone I still go to and talk to on a regular basis. I still, see some of my professors that were in front of me, but a few that aren't here anymore. My contracts professor, Professor Sylvester, he's no longer at the law school, but he pushed me and encouraged me. And then, within my own family, I have an aunt who is a former dean of North Carolina Central Law School, and she's always been a big mentor and friend of mine. But I was real fortunate also, literally first week of law school at orientation, met some former Thurgood graduates who have become lifelong friends and mentors, particularly Zanetta Burney and Anthony Hall. So.
Yes, wonderful. So why did you choose an HBCU?
Like I said, I did not have many black faces. In fact, I only had 2 black faces in front of me in my 4 years of undergraduate school. And again, even though I had a great experience at the University of Virginia and made lifelong friends there, I did not have faces in front of me that looked like me. And I'm a product of the civil rights. I grew up in the 60s, and so even though I didn't graduate from high school until 1980, I remember, the night Martin Luther King was killed. I remember, the first day my parents sent me to school and for me to integrate that school, and having teachers that did not believe in me, teachers to question me, who would not call on me. I remember those days. And so what I knew and understood of being a lawyer, I learned through that civil rights time and that and coming into integration. And so, so after having experienced 4 years of college and really not knowing a black lawyer, but wanting to be a black lawyer, I decided and became more and more determined that I knew I wanted to go to HBCU because I wanted those faces in front of me. And I also believed that that was going to be part of my own personal legacy of giving back and continuing that change for myself.
Amazing. So what does an HBC mean to you, and why is it important to our society?
HBCUs are incredibly important for us. We want to think that we are no longer at a place where, an HBCU is not needed. And, and I know there are all the arguments, well, we're going to live in a majority world. We got to be able to integrate into, bigger society, whether we're in corporations or large law firms or whatever, we may be doing in our working world. But there is a sense of pride, one, that is, I think, built in students when they go to HBCU. I think HCUs...
Interruption.
So anyway, there are some students and some people who, can find internally what they need to motivate them, to drive them, to keep them moving forward towards success. And others need external motivation and external encouragement to get to that place. And I think HBCUs help build both of those things. They help build a character in a way that helps us to stand on our own when we are in the majority world. And there is something also to be said about simply seeing faces that in front of you that have garnered success, who have achieved certain things in life, have excelled, and to be able to see that and be able to say, hey, I can do that. That is necessary for us as products of HBCUs. So it's not just important for us to still have our HBCUs, but it's incredibly important for those of us who are alum of HBCUs to continue to give back, to still come around, to show our faces, and to yell and scream very proudly that we are a product of an HBCU.
Wonderful. So what are some helpful tips for our generation that you can give from your personal experience to my generation here at TSU?
Your generation is sometimes so caught up in the social media that you are losing the ability to do face-to-face networking, face-to-face relationships, and you have to really take this time, particularly when you're in school, whether you're in undergraduate or graduate school, to build relationships, because that network and those relationships are really what's going to carry you through a lifetime. One of my mentors, who I mentioned earlier, Anthony Hall, gave me some advice years ago that I've always remembered, and I've always passed that advice along. When you are going through life, you're basically going to always be surrounded by three sets of people. Those people who are your peers, who you were in school with, those people who are your mentors, and those people who are your mentees, who come up behind you. And you never know where people are going to be at any given time in life. And so with that, you want to always be networking, meeting people, extending your network, not just through technology, not over Facebook, but really having personal relationships, because those relationships are really what's going to carry you in life, whether you're making a decision about your career or just having a bad day and need someone to shout to. But that is really important. So I think networking, understanding, giving back, and most importantly, understanding that you did not create the wheel. Somebody did this before you. So don't live it like you're on an island. Remember that you are a part of a bigger picture.
Nice. Thank you so much for letting me participating in this interview.
You're quite welcome.